Ucha, duo for tuning in. Ucha. Ucha, Uben Nefer, duo for tuning in, duo for sharing the love. My name is Arit Tachia Amet, and this is the series of Ancient African Adorations, and we are following the Unitarian calendar of holy days put out by the Temple of Amun, and you can get your copy at templeofamun.com. And let's see, where is my calendar so I can show it to you? It's all the way across the room. Alright, well, I don't know where it is right now, so I can't show it to you. But anyway, looks like my phone storage is full. Anyway, it's a calendar of ancient Egyptian holidays. And today is November 30th, and today is the day that we honor the event called the Raising of the Jed Pillar. And we'll be taking readings from the Asarian Resurrection. And I'm using Volume 4 by Dr. Muwada Ashby. African Religion, Volume 4, Asarian Theology, Asarian Resurrection. And I'll be putting out the calendar for December in the next day or so. So we begin with prayers from the Temple of Shitao and Asmatashi Temple. Asmatashi Temple is the temple for the work that I do. And Temple of Shitao is the temple that I studied with for a while. So we open up with certain prayers that are to be offered before reading from the Purdam Haru. So let's start with those. There's two that we're instructed to offer, and I usually have three. And then I came up with a chant that combines the three for days where I don't have a lot of time. So the first one is the one that combines three: Om, Nebuchadnezzar, capital Asar, Om. And Nebuchadnezzar is the all-encompassing divinity that pervades all, that is all, the essence of all. Capita is Nebuchadnezzar in the form of a cosmic force. The gods and goddesses are cosmic forces. And Capita is the creator cosmic force. Ra is creation. Capita is the creator cosmic force. And then Asar, who we're honoring today, is the Neteru that Nebuchadnezzar came forth in a human form. Capita sorrow, Om Nebuchadnezzar, capita sorrow, Om Nebuchadnezzar, capita sorrow, Om Nebuchadnezzar, capita sorrow, Om Nebuchadnezzar, capita sorrow. Nebuchadnezzar, Capra Sorrow. Om 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 Nebuchadnezzar, Capra Sorrow. Tap. Ucha. Yes, it's telling me to remind you to tap your screen and send likes. So if you could do that, I think that's great. My intention for these offerings is that, our bodies are composed of a lot of water, and sound can affect the molecular structure of water. It can affect the flow of energy, and it can enhance our manifestations, and it can aid us on our journey to enlightenment. And that is my intention for these offerings, that we awaken the cosmic forces that live within us, and we live in alignment with our higher self, and that gives us a super powerful boost on our journey. All right. Now, in honor of the sunrise, I'm going to offer Duoda Keft. Duoda Keft, tu benef e makete bed. On a test rock ATM Capara. Capara came on the Teru. Kake Uben K Pasidwood K. Katiem Sutena Teru. Hitting that mood Aniem Nini. Manu in the tap of two Maatata. The tap. And the translation. This is from the Perdemaru, compiled by Dr. Muada Ashby. Adorations to Ra when he rises in horizon eastern of heaven. Homage to Ra, coming forth as Kepra, Kepra, creator of the gods and goddesses. Rising thee, shining thee, lighting up thy mother. Rising as Lord, King of the gods and goddesses. Your mother does an act of worship to you with both arms. Manu, the western horizon, receives thee in peace, and Ma'at embraces thee at the double season perennially. And here's the translation for the next offering. Adorations to Asar, Unifer, divinity great, personality in the heart of Abdu, king of eternity. Abdu is the city of God where the temple of Asar is located. Lord of forever, traveling for eternities. In form raised he, son primary of body of Nut, engendered by Geb, master lord of the Uret crown, exalted white crown, prince of gods and goddesses and people. Okay, now we're going to have that. Okay. And this is a variation of the song we learned from Temple of Chatal Neter by Dr. Mwada Ashby, Say by Ma. And in that version, they just sing the first verse that was offered in that reading. And in this version, we offer all three. And then we go into an adaptation of the song by Ura Bratim, Glory to Asar. Oh, and if you're wondering, these are pinhole glasses. They have holes in them. When you read through them or look through them, they force your eyes to focus rather than magnifying what you look at. I inevitably get that question during these sessions, so nowadays I just say it out the beginning. And then, of course, you can purchase them at my website, lightbeingwellness.com. Asar, Unifer, Natura, Herababdu, Sutin, Hey, Nebjada, Sebebi, Hey, Asar, Unifer, Natura, So, who is Asar? What is Asar? Asar is the cosmic force, the Netaru, the God, that represents the soul, the universal soul. And the journey and experiences of Asar represent the journeys that we take in our daily lives on our spiritual journey. So the things that happen to Asar are happening to us every day. And the reason we study the myths and we learn about the gods and goddesses is so that we can know more about ourselves and become closer to Nebuchadnezzar, to the divine within. So that's why we do this work. And so in the story of Asar, there's a point where he is, well, we're honoring today the time when he was locked in a coffin by his brother and sent up the river and then became a tree. And the tree was cut down because when the king was walking by had an amazing aroma, and the tree was made into a pillar. And Aset and her sister Nebuchadnezzar and her son, well, stepson, Anpu, went to find the body of Asar, and she was able to get the tree back and raise it up to bring it back to life, which is what happens to us when we are, tricked by egoism, and then we're like dead, locked in a coffin. And then later in the story, after Set realizes that Asar has been brought back to life, he tears him into pieces. He cuts him into pieces and scatters them around the earth. And that's also what happens to us when we forget our divinity. Our soul is fragmented into pieces, and we're trapped in the physical realm, and we're not able to transcend to eternity like Asar does. So we're destined to reach that goal. However, we do have to go through trials and tribulations. And if you can see behind me, let's see, right here, we have the image of the Jed pillar, and it's represented standing upright with the four upper psycho-spiritual centers, the four upper aritus, chakras. And they're symbolized in the sistrum that I use. It has the heart chakra is symbolized by Heteru, and then the three upper psycho-spiritual centers. All right. So let's get out. So this observance of the Jed pillar is about our readings from the Asarian resurrection. We had another one a few weeks ago where I had a lot more music. So, but this one today is going to be a lot teachings. Okay. So we're going to go right to Volume 4, African Religion, Asarian Resurrection, to page 59. Oh, actually, I think we're going to start with this. Yes, it's called A Hymn to Asar. I don't have a musical version of this yet. Maybe I will someday. I'm just going to read it. Hymn to Asar. Glory be to Asar Unafer, the great God within Abdu, King of eternity, Lord of the everlasting, who passes through of years in his existence, eldest son of the womb of Nut by Geb, Lord of the crowns of the north and south, Lord of the lofty white crowns. As prince of gods and of men, he hath received the crook and the flail, and the dignity of his divine fathers. Let thy heart which is in the mountain of Amenta be content, for thy son Heru is established upon thy throne. Thou art crowned Lord of Jeddu and ruler in Abdu. Through thee the world waxeth green in triumph before the might of Nebuchadnezzar. He leadeth in his train that which is and that which is not yet. In his name Tahir Setanef, he toweth along the earth in triumph. In his name Sakir. He is exceedingly mighty and most terrible in his name Asar. He endureth forever and forever in his name Unafer. Homage to thee, King of kings, Lord of lords, Prince of princes, who from the womb of Nut has possessed the world, and has ruled all lands and Akert. Thy body is of gold, thy head is of azure, and emerald light encircleth thee. O On of millions of years, all pervading with thy body, and beautiful in countenance in Tasert. Okay, so that is a reading of the hymn of Asar from the book of Coming Forth by Day of Ani, and it is included in the book of the Asarian Resurrection. All right, now we're going to jump to page 59. And we're at the section called Asar, Aset, and Heru, and I'm not going to read the entire section. I'm only going to read the part about the Jed pillar, which I just gave a summary of, but this is from the book. And this is page 59. Upon Osiris' return from touring the world and carrying the teachings of wisdom abroad, there was merriment and rejoicing throughout the land. However, one day after Asar's return, through his lack of vigilance, he became intoxicated with life, with the physical reality, and slept with Set's wife, Nebuchadnezzar. Nebuchadnezzar, as a result of the union with Asar, begat Anpu. And keep in mind that Nebuchadnezzar is Set's twin sister, so he slept with his sister-in-law. Set, who represents the personification of evil forces, plotted in jealousy and anger, the blinding passion that prevents the forgiveness, to usurp the throne and conspire to kill Asar. Set secretly got the measurements of Asar and constructed a coffin. Through trickery, Set was able to get Asar to try on the coffin for size. While Asar was resting in the coffin, Set and his assistants locked it and then dumped it into the Nile River. That sounds like fun, huh? A welcome home party and you end up trapped in a coffin. The coffin made its way to the coast of Syria, where it became embedded in the earth, and from it grew a tree with the most pleasant aroma in the form of a jed or tet. And that's something that I just learned, that tet is another way to pronounce jed, and I've seen tet. The tet is a symbol of Asar's back. It has 4 horizontal lines. Let me just show this illustration. In relation to a firmly established straight column, the jed column is symbolic of the upper energy centers, the aritus, the chakras, that relate to the levels of consciousness of the spirit within an individual human being. The jed pillar represents steadfastness. The king of Syria was out walking, and as he passed by the tree, he immediately fell in love with the pleasant aroma, so he had the tree cut down and brought to his palace. Aset, Asar's wife, the personification of the life-giving mother force in creation and in all humanity, and Aset also represents our divine intuition, went to Syria in search of Asar. Her search led her to the palace of the Syrian king, where she took a job as the nurse of the king's son. Every evening, Aset would put the boy into the fire, quote marks around fire, to consume his mortal parts, thereby transforming him to immortality. Fire is symbolic of both physical and mental purification. Most importantly, fire implies wisdom, the light of truth, illumination, and energy. Aset, by virtue of her qualities, has the power to bestow immortality through the transformative power of her symbolic essence. Aset then told the king that Asar, her husband, is inside the pillar he made from the tree. He graciously gave her the pillar, the jed, and she returned with it to Kemet. Okay. Upon her return to Kemet, Aset went to the papyrus swamps, where she lay over Asar's dead body and fanned him with her wings, infusing him with new life. In this manner, Aset revived Asar through her power of love and wisdom, and then they united once more. From their union was conceived a son, Heru, with the assistance of the gods Jehuti and Amun. Okay, so that is a short version of the story of the Jed Pillar. And now it's time for another song. And another introduction to this harp. It's a lotus harp with crocodiles, conquering the ego with music. It's got a camel through the journey, and it's got the pyramids of Giza. And I obtained this lovely item outside the temple of Heru in Edfu. And it's an interesting harp. It's never tuned the same. So I'll play it one way today, and then later on today it'll be a different song. Do a sar, do a set, do a heru. Do a sar, do a set, do a heru. Do a sar, do a set, do a headu. Do a sar, do a set, do a headu. Do a sar, do a set, do a headu. Do a sar, do a set, do a headu. Do a sar, do a set, do a headu. Do a sar, do a set, do a headu. Do a sar, do a set, do a headu. Do a sar, do a set, do a headu. Do a sar, do a set, do a headu. Do a sar, do a set, do a headu. Do a sar, do a set, do a headu. Do a sar, do a set, do a headu. Do a sar, do a set, do a headu. Do a sar, do a set, do a headu. Nukpu a sar, nukpu a set, nukpu 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 headu. Hey, why don't you try something with me? You could chant call and response. I'll say the line and then you repeat after me. So when we say Jua, that means adorations or thank you. And we say Nukpu, that means I am. So if I say I am Asar, that means I am Asar. That's affirming I am the universal soul. I am Aset. I am divine intuition. I am Haru. I am spiritual aspiration, spiritual victory. So I'll go first and then you repeat after me. Do a sar, do a set, do a do. Nukpu a sar, nukpu a set, nukpu hedu. Do a sar, do a set, do a hedu. Nukpu a sar, nukpu a set, nukpu hedu. Do a sar, do a set, do hedu. Nukpu a sar, nukpu a set, nukpu hedu. Do a sar, do a set, do a hedu. Nukpu a sar, nukpu a set, nukpu hedu. All right, tap. Okay. Never. Okay, now page 87. So on page 87, they have some illustrations of the Jed pillar, which I am not able to show you right now. But I did include some in the announcement video, so you can, they're the same. They're basically the same images. There's one that's different though. Thank you for being here. Yes, this is really about sharing this music and the teaching, so I'm so grateful that you used that term. It took me a long time to realize that the journey, my journey as a musician, is just to share the teachings and to share the music. It took me a long time for that. So thank you for acknowledging that. So the image that's not included in the little video shows the body of Asar actually growing into a tree. So when I include the clip from this video, I will include this image of the body of Asar growing into a tree. And it says that it's from a bas-relief at the temple of Dendera, the temple of Hetaru. Right. And the next page. Next page is 157. 157. And again, I'm taking these readings from the African Religions Volume 4, Asarian Theology, Asarian Resurrection, by Say by Ma, Dr. Muada Ashby. And if you have the opportunity, they are having their Winter Solstice Conference online this year, so you'd be able to attend if you are interested. Usually it's in Florida, so it's opportunity. Let's go to EgyptianYoga.com. Okay, so page 157. Okay. There is a special realm within the Duat, which is the abode of Asar. The Duat is in the netherworld, the astral world. It's where we go after our body dies, and we're in eternity for a while until, we figure out what we're going to do next based on our heart, the reading of our heart. As well as the ultimate destination of those who become enlightened. It is the realm of supreme peace, the second Yaru, or in other times as Amentet. So that's why we're talking about this right now, is because if you recall earlier, I mentioned the Tet is another term for Jed. And Amentet is, here it is a reference which unites the symbolism of Asar with that of Amun, because Tet refers to the Jed pillar of Asar. Asar is often depicted as a man with the body of a pillar containing the 4 tiers. The tiers symbolize the 4 upper levels of the psycho-spiritual consciousness centers when awakened. The Kemetic term is Aritz, or the Aritu. The Sephik Bara is the wheels of Ra, the wheels of fire of Ra, or we know them here as chakras. The Jed symbolizes the awakened human soul, which is well established in the knowledge of the self. And that's how the Jed pillar represents steadfastness, because we become steadfast in this way of life, this steadfast in this consciousness, in this vibration. I was reading something in the teachings the other day. I can't remember, it was a proverb, but it referred to, how we have the personality, we have these different aspects of our personality, and we tend to think of our existence as the soul or the spirit contained in a watery encasement. And I have gotten used to referring to it in that way. But in this teaching I'm talking about, it said actually the spark of life or the spark of light that's in us, our soul, our spirit, radiates and reflects and radiates outward, and each different level or vibration represents a different aspect of being or layer of our consciousness, and then eventually it gets so gross or materialized that it has this watery encasement. However, the watery encasement didn't come first. The spirit or the soul radiates first, and that light never goes out. So that is just such powerful visual, and it's gonna sticking with me. Okay. So the Jed symbolizes the awakened human soul, which is well established in the knowledge of the self. The Jedu refers to the abode of Asar. The abode of Asar, you could say that's our watery encasement, because that's where our soul resides. And then also the abode of Asar is Abdu, the city of Abdu. And today Abdu is referred to as Abydos. If you're like, where's Abdu? Where's Abdu? It's Abydos. And that's another great thing about this system is I purchased it in Abydos. Not right now, Sybil. I tried to let you out earlier. You're going to have to wait. And this is what is referred to. This is what the following line from the Egyptian Book of the Dead, Egyptian Book of Coming Forth Day, chapter 1, verses 13 through 15 is referring to. And this is the musical offering from the teachings for today. I'm going to read the translation first. I am steadfast, son of steadfast, conceived and born in the region of steadfastness. So this is the portion of the program where it's a new melody. I have teachings in front of me, and then the song comes. So that was the translation. I'm just checking in. Oh, there's some people have joined me on YouTube. Ucha, do it for tuning in. Ucha. I was marveling at some acacia trees trunks yesterday. Someone used to make pillars for a stall and abandoned it. They've started growing again. It's a tree known to do that. Acacia tree. I think that is related to the name of the tree from Syria. I think it is an acacia tree. So thank you for bringing that to my attention. I had forgotten about that. So I'll look that up and hopefully I'll remember. But thank you so much for being here. Okay. So I just read the translation. And so here comes a new song. Birth of a new song. The thing about doing these concerts is so many new songs have been born. I have just recently made the determination to work on my music every single day, not just when I have like a 3-hour chunk. And so I'm recording one song right now, and you know, I want it to be perfect. It's taking too long. Oh, I don't mean to say that. I'm also being very careful with my words. This is not my music project. This is a divine music project, and the divine is the one with these standards, and when it's ready, it'll be ready. But and I have so many songs right now that are waiting to be recorded and born. So y'all are getting them firsthand on the video. It's easy to make a live video, because if you make a mistake, it's okay. But for recording, okay. Anyway, so here we go. Let me read the translation again, because I've been blabbering. The translation. I am steadfast, son of steadfast, conceived and born in the region of steadfastness. This is referring to the Jed pillar. Say Nukshadi, Sejadi, Ao Im Jadu, Messiah Jadu, Nukshadi, Sejadi, Nukshadi, Sejadi, Nukshadi, Sejadi, Nukshadi, Sejadi, Nukshadi, Sejadi, Ao Im Jadu, Messiah Jadu, Nukshadu, Sejadi, Ao Im Jadu, Messiah Jadu. Nukshadi, Sejadi, Ao Im Jadu, Messiah Jadu. Ooh, never. That was nice. That was nice. A tap. Okay. All right, now it's time for another teaching. Have a little tea here. I like that one. That one's going to be nice. Okay, page, what'd you say? 202? Page 202. Page 202. Okay. All right, so this is another reading of the myth. So I don't need to read that part again, but I will read the part that's different. Okay. Most importantly, fire implies wisdom, the light of truth, illumination, and energy which burns away ignorance and egoism. A set, by virtue of her qualities, has the power to bestow immortality through the transformative power of her symbolic essence. So, intuitional wisdom leads to the eradication of mortal consciousness and the birth of immortal consciousness when one's intuition allows one to realize one's true nature. So intuitional wisdom leads to the eradication of mortal consciousness and the birth of immortal consciousness when one's intuition allows one to realize one's true nature. Okay, that's a bit of a mouthful. Let me read that one more time. I have a feeling that this particular line is going to be in the song, the rest of the song. Like, that was the chorus, and then there's going to be verses. Intuitional wisdom, I said, leads to the eradication of mortal consciousness and the birth of immortal consciousness. Oh, okay, that's where I was getting mixed up. The eradication of mortal consciousness and the birth of immortal consciousness when one's intuition allows one to realize one's true nature. Okay, there's the formula right there. Okay. So, and how does one realize one's true nature? We know from the journey of Asar. She learned the essence of the true nature of Ra by knowing his name. And that's how she learned the essence. So that's one way we can realize our true nature is when we know the name of true nature, the name of Ra. which is a name that cannot be spoken or heard, only experienced. And that's when we go into our inner shrine or inner sanctum, like when I get lost in the music. That's where I go. Music is the boat for me. You know, like the different gods and goddesses have a vehicle that carries them on the journey to enlightenment. Music is my boat. Music is what fuels my boat. Just a little longer, Sybil. You should have gone when I tried to take you out. Okay. Aset then told the king that Asar, her husband, is inside the pillar he made from the tree. He graciously gave her the pillar of the jet, and she returned with it to Kemet. With the assistance of Sebek, Aset brought back the body of Asar. So Sebek is the crocodile. So the crocodile that carried the load of the soul back to Kemet. And when we do the Tefna Tadusim about the yoga posture system, the Akusaneb yoga posture system, we are reminded that Sebek offers, tells us to release our burdens, release our troubles to Sebek, so the soul can move forward. So we're supposed to lay down our burdens and our troubles to this crocodile, and that's, another reason I love this heart is got the crocodiles. We associate crocodiles with egoism, and yet we also have Sebek that carries our egoism, basically. Okay. Upon her return to Kemet, Aset went to the papyrus swamps where she lay over Asar's dead body and fanned him with her wings, infusing him with new life. In this manner, Aset revived Asar through the power of love and wisdom, and then they united once more. From their union was conceived a son, Heru, with the assistance of the gods, Jehuti and Amun. Heru, therefore, was born from the union of the spirit of Asar and the life-giving power of Aset, physical nature. Thus, Heru represents the union of spirit and matter and the renewed life of Asar, his rebirth. Okay? And then we have page 246. I think this is another rendition of the story, but let's just make sure. Page 246. Okay, this is about the special realm. I think I might have already read this with the translation, but oh no, here we go. The special realm. Well, there's a special realm within the Duat. This is the abode of Asar. I think we read this already. It is the realm of supreme peace, known as Amentet. Unites the symbolism of Asar Amun, and the song for Asar Amun is Asar the Green God. You can find that on YouTube and Bandcamp, and it is one of my favorites. It's like 10 minutes long. I don't have it memorized. It's the song for the new year. But that's where there's a chorus, Asar Amun. Dua Asar Amun, Dua Asar Amun, Dua Asar Amun, Dua Asar Amun, Asar Amun. I love that one. Okay, the hidden essence, the hidden supreme being was the essence of all things, and refers to the Jet pillar of Asar. The Tet symbolizes the awakening human soul who is well established in the knowledge of the self. This is the following line from the Egyptian Book of the Dead. Coming forth by day, I am steadfast, son of steadfast, conceived and born in the region of steadfastness. That's the Hekau was just transmitted. Okay, and this is the part that wasn't read earlier. This special realm is shrouded in the deepest, darkest darkness, and it is untouched by the myriad of cries, dismemberments, and sufferings of unrighteous souls, the enemies of Ra, as well as the cries of happiness of the righteous souls who are experiencing heavenly or pleasurable conditions, according to their bad or good deeds of the past. This part of the Duat is composed of 7 arits or halls. It transcends time and space, as well as the mind and thoughts. It is absolute existence. The rest of the Dua, as well as the physical world, is relative reality. In this special realm, there is no growth of any kind. There is no birth and no death. No passage of time, just eternity. This is the meaning of the following Hekau utterance from the Egyptian Book of Coming Forth by Day. chapter 125, verse 1 to 17. Uh-oh, I hadn't planned on reading this. Here we go. The Asar, the scribe, the Ani, that's you and I, whose word is truth, saith, I have come unto thee. I have drawn close to you in order to experience thy beauties. My hands are extended in adoration of thy name of Ma'at, truth. I have come, I have drawn myself to the place where the cedar tree existeth not, where the acacia tree, like you were talking about earlier, does not put forth shoots, and where the ground neither produces grass nor herbs. Now I have entered into the place of hidden things, and I hold converse with the God Set. Asar the scribe Ani hath entered into the house of Asar, and he hath seen the hidden and secret things which are therein. A chapter. Okay. And we have one more page I wanted to offer. That's pretty powerful. Page 90. Oh man, there's 3 more. Sorry. Page 94. I think I found these at the last minute. It's always worth it to read more teachings. Okay, I think this is just about a pillar, not... see it. Uja, do it for joining. I don't see it on this page. Lady's house. Oh, must be up top. Known as the acacia tree on earth. Hope you heard me. Page 86 and 87. The last one. Yeah, I didn't find it on that page. But here we go. Page 86, verse 22. All right, so this is the actual verse from the Asarian resurrection. The other was from the gloss or from Dr. Ashby's teachings. So this is verse 22. And this is after Aset has gone to find Asar, and she found the tree. Okay. Verse 22. Aset nursed the child by giving it her finger to suck instead of the breast. She likewise put him each night into the fire in order to consume his mortal parts, whilst having transformed herself into a swallow, she circled around the pillar and bemoaned her sad fate. This she continued to do for some time, until the queen, who stood watching her, observed the child to be all of a flame, cried out, "Ah!" and broke the spell, which was transforming him from a mortal being into immortal, and thereby deprived him of some of that immortality which would otherwise have been conferred upon him. The goddess then made herself known. She revealed her true identity to the queen and related to her the story of her husband Asar. She then asked that the pillar which supported the roof of their house might be given to her. Realizing the nature of her being and the truth of her story, the king and queen immediately agreed to give Aset the pillar. Can you imagine? You hired this woman to be your baby's nursemaid, and one day you walk by and your baby is in flames and on fire in the oven, and the nursemaid has turned into a bird, a hawk, and is circling around a pillar that's holding up the roof of your house. Every time I read this part, it's just so funny. I mean, I know it's not a comedy. You know, it's very serious, Sirus. However, to me, it really makes me laugh because you can see it the way that it's written. You can just see it happening. Especially when the mother, the queen, cries out, ah! Later on, there's a part where, is it here? Yeah. Oh, this here. This is this part, verse 23. Having taken the pillar down, she cut it open easily, and taking out what she wanted, she wrapped up the remainder of the trunk in fine linen and poured perfumed oil over it. Then she delivered again into the hands of the king and the queen. Now this piece of wood is to this day preserved in the temple and worshipped by the people of Biblios. Biblos. Sounds like Bible. When this was done, Aset threw herself upon the chest and made at the same time such loud and terrible cries of lamentation over it that the younger of the king's sons who heard her was frightened out of his life. He was so scared he died. Aset really had an effect on this family. You know, we really have to appreciate the pillar, the Jed pillar, because it's just... But the elder of them she took with her and set sail with the chest for Egypt. Now it being morning, the river Phaedrus sent forth a keen and chilly air, and becoming angry, she dried up its current. So she was so upset that she dried up the current of the river. So that is some special power that a set has. And remember, that's our intuitional wisdom. It's not witchcraft or spells. I mean, it is. There is a vibration of that, to that. However, we have to realize the source of the magic is deep within us, our soul, our spirit, our divinity, and it radiates out. And as it gets to different frequencies and vibrations, it manifests in different ways until it manifests in the physical realm. So whenever we're reading these myths, we have to remember that. We can't get caught up. We have to know that it's true on all levels, not just the physical. And that's what separates it from other myths, is they're only can be experienced in the ritual and the myth, but not the mystical. A true spiritual practice has those three aspects of religion. It's the myth, the ritual, and then the metaphysics. And in most religions, because religion is control, this is a spiritual life, a spiritual lifestyle. I don't follow religion. I have a spiritual lifestyle. And it includes the metaphysical, the mystical experience for everyone, not just the priests and priestesses. Once the priests and priestesses start taking money and, for offering prayers, then that's when things get corrupted. And that's what took me so long to learn, is this music. Even when it was quote unquote just reggae, it was very spiritual, cultural reggae, and I wasn't satisfied with my work because I wasn't getting paid the way I saw other people getting paid. And it took how many years? 30 years to realize that that's not my journey, and not to compare myself to other journeys, and not to judge other people's journeys. This is the journey that I'm on, and I'm just sharing the music and the teachings. Okay, I think there's one more page, the next page, 87. They said to read 87. Oops, 87. And that takes us back to the images I was talking about. So we're done with the teachings. I have one more song to offer. I don't know if I've played this one with the harp. I'll try it with this one. Oh, yeah. This will work. Ooh, I like that one. All right, so Julie. Julie, thank you for tuning in. Not Julie. Yeah, Julie Ariana. Okay, so this song, this Hekau is being offered, comes from the Tefneteru Sima Pout level 2 reflections. You can learn the postures in level 1, and then in level 2 you learn the reflections and the meditations that go with the postures, because that yoga posture system is not just to be healthy and fit and look good, although you can accomplish that. The postures are arranged in such a way that you are recreating the process of creation. So every time you do the yoga posture system, you are going through the different phases of creation. And so that's what we're supposed to do in our daily life. So when we do the yoga posture system every day, then we're adding that element, that frequency to our life. And when you get to the posture for Asar, when he's in the Jet Pillar pose, that's the mummy pose when you're laying down like this. There's the last line is, may you be enlightened in peace for eternity. And so that's what this chant is. Nihas Imhotep, Nihas Imhotep, Nihas Imhotep Un Shen. Nihas Imhotep, Nihas Imhotep, Nihas Imhotep Un Ken. So it's enlightened in peace for eternity. And then the second one, An Ken, it means without stopping. And if you want to hear this song, is recorded on, it's on Bandcamp right now. I have not gone into the studio, the actual studio, but that's coming up once I'm able to let go of my perfectionism and just allow Nebuchadnezzar and Jehuti to be the music directors. Uh-oh. It untuned just that fast. It untuned just that fast. Let's start over. Nias in a tab, Nias in a tab, Nias in a tab, Unshin. Nias in a tab, Nias in a... Nah, it's not working. Try this one. Just that quick, it was gone. Nias in a tab, Nias in a tab, Nias in a tab, Unshin. Nias in a tab, Nias in a tab, Nias in a tab, Unken. Nias in a tab, Nias in a tab, Nias in a tab, Unshin. Nias in a tab, Nias in a tab, Nias in a tab, Unken. Nias in a tab, Nias in a tab, Nias in a tab, Unshin. Nias in a tab, Nias in a tab, Nias in a tab, Unken. Nias in a tab, Nias in a tab, Nias in a tab, Unken. Nias in a tab, Nias in a tab, Nias in a tab, Unshin. Niasinatep, Niasinatep Unshin. Niasinatep, Niasinatep, Niasinatep Unkin. Nukasar, 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 Nukasar. Niasinatep, Niasinatep, Niasinatep Unshin. There we go. Niasinatep, Niasinatep, Niasinatep Unkin. Niasinatep, Niasinatep, Niasinatep Unshin. Niasinatep, Niasinatep, Niasinatep Unkin. Nukasar, 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 Nukasar. Niasinatep, Niasinatep, Niasinatep Unshin. Niasinatep, Niasinatep, Niasinatep Unkin. Niasinatep, Niasinatep, Niasinatep Unshin. Niasinatep, Niasinatep, Niasinatep Unkin. Niasinatep, Niasinatep, Niasinatep Unshin. Niasinatep, Niasinatep, Niasinatep Unkin. Nukasar, 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 Nukasar. All right, Nefer Hatep. We are the universal soul. We are the divine soul within us. We are enlightenment. We are steadfast. And we are enlightened in peace for eternity. That is my prayer for you. Okay, so Dua, for tuning in today, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate your comments and your presence. Your presence is a gift to me. And it's part of my music Shetty, which is how I cleanse my REU, is by sharing this music and teachings. And the music is what fuels my boat on this journey to Asar. So thank you for being here. And I don't have my calendar in front of me, so I can't even tell you when the next edition is, but I will be posting the calendar of events, and I do post little reminders. So thank you so much, Hatep. Nias and Hatep Unshen. Thanks again, Hatep.